Welcome to the Owning Your Sexual Self podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Main, awesome wife and dog mom for life. I'm a sex therapist turned sex coach, and I run a successful business selling relationship enhancement products. I absolutely love talking about all things sex. So you can expect this podcast to explore all things related to women's sexual health because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you discover and embrace what brings you pleasure so that you can own your sexual self. If that sounds good to you, then keep listening and let's fucking do this. Hello. We are taking a whole new meaning to Freaky Friday with this episode. It's now officially Kinky Friday. Cause it's Kinky Friday. It's Kinky Friday. I'm in Chris Brown's body. There's Bane. You heard him. I'm singing and dancing and he's always alarmed when I'm doing that. Okay, guys, go lay down. Go back to your sleeping. Thank you. We're all tied up in the house today. It is a random snow day in April. It's supposed to be spring and it's snowing here in Michigan, so the dogs are not excited about that. But anyways, we are here. I am wanting to record this episode for you about Kinky Friday and the experience that Danny and I and our friends had when we were in Minnesota a few weeks ago, because obviously many of you follow me on social media, and I got a ton of questions about what is Kinky Friday. What is it? What do you do there? Who is it for? And I wanted to just shed some light on this and definitely give a shout out to the Gay 90s in Minnesota. It's right in downtown Minneapolis. This is my second time attending the Kink show there, and it is always such a pleasure. And again, I wanted to just highlight some features of this and shed some light on this topic. And also, if you know of something like this that's in your area, please either email me, DM me on Instagram, however you can get in contact with me, please let me know, because I want to be able to, one, attend more of these myself as we continue our travel all over the world, and also be able to give resources to other people in different areas, because we know that people listen to this podcast from all over the world. So anyways, again, it was okay. So when I first went to this Kink show, it was something that we totally weren't even expecting. We were going to this bar downtown Minneapolis because my friends are from there, and we went to the bar because it offers so many different genres. Okay, so it's one of those bars where you go in and it has different rooms set up that have different vibes to them. So you have like a 80s vibe. You have upstairs, there's a drag show going on. You have your sort of club vibe. You have your kind of sit at the bar, hole in the wall, like bar, almost I'm thinking like Irish bar sort of setting. Just a bar, like it just has different feels all around it. So this was a couple years ago, I think maybe 4 years ago, my friends and I, so we're going to this bar. They want to take me downtown Minneapolis, my first time there. They want to show me a good time. And so they take us there. So when we walk in, they ask you right at the front door, are you there for kink night? And I, of course, this is like right at the early onset of I think I was still working in sex therapy at that time. And I remember thinking, holy, like, yes, we are here for the kink night. It's 4 of us girlfriends, and it was an extra $5 to get back there. And I remember, we already had just paid $10 cover to get in the place. And then our friends, I think we're just like, well, do we really want to pay another $5, to go back here? And so I remember asking, well, what is it? What is it? And they're like, it's a consensual experience for kink night, basically. It's a kink night that we do. So you'll have performers up there. You'll have different stations that you can go and visit. There's your own separate bar back there. It's a very, very safe, just like a safe environment for you to experience these things, educate yourself in these things. I mean, all kinds of greatness from it. So then I remember kind of looking around and seeing the people that were entering into the kink night. They were your typical, like what you would stereotypically think as people within the BDSM community, what they would be wearing. So a lot of black, a lot of leather, a lot of lingerie pieces. I remember seeing chaps. I remember seeing Yeah, just like a lot of black leather, a lot of bustiers or corsets, whatever you want to refer to those as. And I remember thinking, we are totally going to stick out like sore thumbs when we walk in here, because we are just in like our normal, not like kinky type of clothing, and we were like, you know what, fuck it. Again, I was so enthralled by this. Like, I knew I wanted to go back there. Even if we didn't stay, like, I had to experience this, and it was amazing. I remember walking back and seeing all different types of people, seeing different genders, different sizes, different ages. I mean, the diversity of this room where they hold the kink night is incredible. I mean, literally incredible. It is something that it fills my heart with joy to see that sort of diversity happening, and especially within that sex kinky community, with there not being any sort of judgment involved. You walk back there, you could be wearing, who the fuck cares what you're wearing, and you are accepted. You are accepted in that space. You are accepted in that community. And that is one of the things that I love about the kink community. And I remember then walking in, and so as they said, there's going to be stations kind of set up along the walls. They have cages where people dance in. There's like a spanking station, a rope station. If you actually listen to my Dirty Show episode that I did, God, probably 2 years ago, Danny and I went to the Dirty Show here downtown in Detroit. It's an erotic art show, not really a festival. And that took place at like this ginormous warehouse. So think of Kinky Friday, this kink show that I'm talking about to you about now, is on a much smaller scale, though the room still is pretty big. And so anyways, our very first time there, I remember walking in and I see to the right what I now know was the foot fetish station. And I see this older gentleman. I'm not kidding. I would have aged him probably late 70s, early 80s, possibly. And wearing only whitey whities, however you want to call them, only tighty whities. And he's sitting there, and then there's this beautiful, beautiful woman sitting on this small stool, and she's all dressed up. She has these gorgeous stockings on. I mean, she is just feeling herself. You can just see the sexual confidence radiating off of her. And he is kneeled down in front of her. Again, she's sitting on this little small stool, and she is simply rubbing her feet all over him, rubbing her feet on his face, on his shoulders, behind his neck, up and down his body, around his waist, in between his thighs. I mean, everywhere, head to toe. And this man was in his glory. This is like, he clearly had a foot fetish. This was something that was very enjoyable to him. And that was the first time, honestly, that I've ever seen anything like that. I know that foot fetishes are a thing. It's actually one of the most common fetishes out there. And I've talked with people in my therapy practice back in the day that had foot fetishes and work with them around ways of managing that, but also in capturing that more in their life and feeding more of that fetish in a healthy way for themselves. But this was the first time I think that in real life I had ever seen it. And it was just incredible. So immediately I walk in, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, just seeing that, you knew then, again, going back to that sort of no judgment feel, you knew what was going to be happening in that space. And so I want to read you the sign, and I don't know if I recognize the sign that they have the last time, but I definitely recognize it this time, since we were just there a few weeks ago, and I took I took a picture of it. So the sign is basically on a sheet, and on the sheet it says, "You are now entering Kinky Friday, a consent-focused space, no touching without asking, no photos or video except in the Kinky Friday photo booth. No means no, yes means yes, respect is sexy, consent is mandatory." I wish that all of life went around this. And again, when you are in this community, when you are in the kinky industry, community is what I'm going back to. It is just it's such a different vibe. There's just a different level of respect and understanding. And I would even go as far as saying consent, enthusiastic consent, is something that is very well known in the kink community. And so going, again, reading the sign, and this is a sign that you see actually before you even enter. And again, it goes to show you cannot have your phones out. If anyone were to have their phones out, you would immediately be asked to leave. You would probably get shunned, honestly. There'd probably be a lot of shame and bad looks and dirty looks coming your way if people noticed that you were trying to take pictures or video anything. And also, I want to say, it's an experience that you want to have with your own eyes, not through the lens of your phone's camera. Because again, it is just so beautiful. It is so magnificent to be able to experience this. So now when we went the first time, it was just us four girls. Words are so hard today. It's the snow. I swear it's got me all off my game. We walked around. It was already busy. We had gotten there late, so the show had already started. So we kind of went in the middle of it, got in the middle of it, I believe. So we never really sat down. We kind of stood off to the side. We kept getting drinks, and we kind of floated in. We did experience more of the rest of the bar, and it was just beautiful. I remember coming back. We kind of did our own thing. We went around, checked out a few things. There's performers on a stage pretty much all throughout the entirety of the kink show. And it runs for about 4 hours. It is quite long, actually. And I remember at the end of the night, things are kind of winding down upstairs, and we ended up going back downstairs. And the grand finale of this very first show was one of the main MCs, one of the main women that perform for Kink Night. She is literally on this couch, and she has a remote vibrator, to which then she inserts inside her vagina. She passes around the remote control. People are paying basically to get access to this remote control so that they can control her pleasure and eventually bring her to orgasm several times, actually, from what I remember. And it was the sexiest, hottest thing, one of ever, really top of my list for sure. And I think it was at that moment that I realized that I definitely had some exhibitionism in me. Seeing her in that role was definitely something that I could see myself in. Again, when it was in this space where trust was there, responsibility was there, judgment was not there. It was, again, just a place where you could just be yourself. You could be that person and own your pleasure. Take advantage of the things that are around you. People are there cheering you on. People are there to love you, to support you, to understand you. And it was just amazing to be able to see. And I remember thinking, God, like that is the type of confidence that I want. That is the sexual confidence that I want to be able to have instilled in me, to be able to get up on a stage like this and perform something like this. I mean, how amazing. And I'm sure, and that's okay. I want to validate for those of you that are listening right now thinking, I could never, ever do something like that. That's okay too. 100%. And even if you're thinking right now, listening to this, like I could never even be somebody in the room watching this happen, because really, essentially everybody that was in the room were considered voyeurs at that time. Voyeurs are the people that like to watch. Exhibitionists are the people that like to be watched. And for a lot of people, you have that kink sort of fetish, if you will, inside of you. You have both that are present. And so first of all, voyeurism was definitely something that I've known for a long time, that it's definitely a turn on for me. Hence going back to my early, stories of turning on porn for everybody to watch at high school parties that I attended. So I was trying to instill that little voyeurism inside all my friends who didn't even know it back then. And anyway, so being able to see that, it was a great experience. We had so much fun. It was so empowering. All of us afterwards, I know, leaving there, we're like, we want to bring our partners back to this. This was so much fun. So now fast forward to a few weeks ago, Danny and I traveled to Minnesota to visit our friends again. And I knew when the timeline, so this happens at this bar, Gay 90s, on the first Friday of every every month. So it's the first Friday of every month. And so we were going to be there on the first Friday. We actually flew in that morning. So immediately when I saw our timeline, our friends were like, what do you want to do? I'm like, we need to go back to Kinky Friday. Like this is number one on my list. We have to do this. It's something that, again, we've only been able to experience once here in Michigan. And the Dirty Show that I mentioned is something that only comes around yearly during Valentine's Day weekend or February. And so they were like, yes, for sure. Again, they want to take their partners as well. So we all went to, so it was me, Danny, my friend and her husband, and then our other friend, whose husband was planning to come, and we're super sad that he wasn't able to come. He definitely wanted to come, but he had to work. So it was the 5 of us that went down there. And again, it was just as I remembered. And I'm so glad again that I saw this sign, because, trying to explain it to Danny and then our friend's husband that was going as well. Again, it was their first time. So, going to something like this, you want to be able to give some explanation to it as to what it is, but you also want there to be a little bit of an element of surprise, in my opinion. Kind of like the women's circles that I host. Like when people come, I'm like, yeah, just come. It's a women's circle. They're like, what do we do? I'm like, come on, just come. It's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. You're going to have a great time. And they're like, oh, okay. It's like being able to have some of that element of surprise, but also prefacing it with the fact that it is consensual. You cannot have your phones. There are no video. You can wear whatever the hell you want. And yeah, it's a place to not have judgment. So if you yourself are somebody that might be, judgeful of some people, it's like, if you don't like what you see, just look the other way. There's no need to shame anybody or throw judgment at them or anything like that. Ain't no one got time for that. So, and I remember asking Danny earlier in the day as we were getting ready and stuff, I'm like, what do you think this is going to be like? And he was pretty spot on. Again, I think he was comparing it to the Dirty Show that we went to, where they had rope tying stations and sex toy stations and things that you could buy and artwork that you could see. And they had a movie theater in there even. So I said, yes, it's definitely that. And it is more so on a smaller scale, again, because it was definitely a smaller room. And so we got all dressed up. I went through many, many different outfit options, trying to find the perfect outfit. I knew that I wanted to be in something comfortable. Really, I just wanted to wear lingerie. If I'm being honest, I'm so comfortable in lingerie. I would wear it all the time if I could socially get accepted by that. But also I knew we were going to be in Minnesota and it's cold there, and I did not want to be cold. So I wore lingerie with my leggings over it, my black, sexy, metallic leggings over a red bodysuit, lace lingerie. I did wear nipple pasties under it so that my nipples weren't showing. And I will say that was a request of Danny's. Apparently I have golden nipples. I don't know. Those are something that he has asked that I keep his boundaries safe and not share those with other people. So that is something that is off limits. So I did end up wearing nipple pasties with it. Still super, super cute. You really actually couldn't even tell the way that the lace is on this piece of lingerie. And I'll also say my friend Dana got very drunk later in the night and came and ripped my nipple pasties off. She had ripped her own off, and so she wanted to free the nipples. So it is what it is. That happened. But I just felt so confident. I felt so excited, so freeing, so liberated to be able to go back to an experience like this, be able to experience it with my husband, be able to experience it with 2 of my best friends again. And it was such a good time. Such a good time. I love it. So I wanted to, again, record this episode because I wanted to just kind of explain what exactly the Kink Show is and share our experience of this show. So being able to sit through this show with Danny and being able to hold hands and do some leg rubbing, get some arousal going, enjoy this experience together was so much fun. And of course, the sex that happened later that weekend, also so fun. It did not we did not end up having sex that night, which I definitely thought that we would, because again, this experience is very erotic and arousing. But we were so freaking tired, so tired. We were up super early that morning because we flew in. We didn't take any naps throughout the day, and then up super late for this. So we both crashed when we got back to our friend's house, and then the next morning, I think it was the next morning, when the sex happened. So I feel like it was like the show was foreplay, and then the weekend and being around each other and friends and stuff, and not having really the space to be able to have sex when we wanted to, versus, our home life, we can essentially have sex whenever we want because there's nobody else here. And so I don't know, I just thought that was fun. So when it came down to it that morning that we were able to have sex, it was amazing. So good. So good. Here I am just like reminiscing in my office as I record this podcast. So good. It's amazing to have such a great sex life. And all right, so what else happened in this kink show that I want to share with you? Okay, so I remember the very first performance on this recent extravaganza that we went on was actually the most beautiful, tallest transgender woman I've ever seen. She was absolutely gorgeous. She must have been some sort of dance major or ballerina or something. I can't even explain it, but she gave this incredible performance. I've never seen legs so long. I mean, it was so, so good. And when we went to this show, it was very close to Trans Visibility Day, which is something that is celebrated, and definitely something that they celebrate at this bar as well. And it was amazing to see the skills that she had, to see her embracing her sexuality as a transgendered woman. It was incredible. It was like this not little, she was very tall, but just a very feminine, elegant ballerina prancing around. She came up and down the aisles, so she was literally right next to us at one point, versus just staying on the stage the whole time, doing the splits, doing all sorts of hot things. And it was amazing to watch. Meanwhile, our favorite little black bunny, that's what I'm going to call him, there was this cutest little black man. He looked like Lil Nas X. That's who we kept saying that he looked like. So, and picture that amazing body. I mean, just the cutest little plumpest butt I've ever seen. And he is, I swear, if I could dance like this man, oh my God, the money I would make. I'm just saying, he could dance so good. So he's twerking it. He's doing all these flips and all these kind of flips. I mean, couch flips. I mean, it was incredible. So he had my attention for a lot of the time, especially in between performances on stage. He was so fun to watch. So that was going on. You had these beautiful women to the left side and the right side of him that had their own sort of little mini stages and cages that they were performing in and dancing in. And so at any point you could go up to them and ask them to either dance with you, to fulfill some sort of fetish that you have, of course within reason. Again, consent is always important with these sort of exchanges. So it was very cool to be able to see people going up there and getting lap dances from them. I remember seeing one person that was up there and they were just cuddled, like they were just held the whole time that they were up there. And I thought that was beautiful. And so it's just amazing to be able to see the different sexual things that people want and the things that they're craving and that maybe they're not getting in their own relationship. And so to be able to go, somewhere like this and to feel seen, to feel loved by others, and who knows, maybe these could have also been single. I'm not projecting or assuming anybody's relationship status here, nor am I assuming what their sexual preferences are, but it was so great. I remember seeing a couple going up there to one of the women, and it was very much kind of like they were role playing a three-way, if you will. I never really saw people like actually having sex or even giving or receiving oral sex or anything like that. It's very, well, I can't even say getting a lap dance at a strip club because, we know that those are also, anything can go at some of these places too. So that's kind of a bad reference. But within reason. Like sex was not happening as far as I saw, but pretty hot and steamy leading up to it. I mean, great foreplay happening. So yeah, it was, let's see, I remember there was many rope tying scenarios happening. So different rope tying instances, which is so fascinating to me. The people that have these incredible skills with ropes and being able to do these different knots and tying, and oh my god, yeah, I feel like I should have that skill just as like a life skill in general. But Danny and I, it was also very cool to be able to experience this with each other, because after each sort of kinky thing went by, we were able to do this kind of check in with each other, like, what did you think of that? Was that hot? Or saying, me saying like, that is so hot, that is such a turn on for me. Same for him to be able to say that. Us kind of making plans for our future sexual encounters, to plan some of these things to try in the future. And also, I think gave us too, we like to watch porn together, and sometimes we find it hard to find a porn that we're just kind of like feeling in that moment. And so being able to realize that, some of these things, these different fetishes and kinks are exciting to us, that maybe we can start searching that sort of porn next time it comes up, then that was exciting. And also to be able to say some of the things that were not turn-ons for us. So for instance, the rope stuff, like that's really not something that is exciting to us. Although I will say I personally have never been tied up in rope like that before. I remember asking him, and he never has either. And so I prefer the softer things. Like, I definitely can get down with some restraints. I don't like pain. Pain in the bedroom, in fact, pisses me off. I think that could probably come from having some domestic violence encounters in my life. And as I'm recording this, I'm like, Rachel, that is something to probably explore, because a lot of people can heal trauma and use kink as a way to heal shame and trauma and things like that. So add it to the agenda. Add it to the agenda of expanding my sexual self more and more and more, especially as I continue to do this work. So anyways, being able to talk about those things, talk about our desires. Ooh. Okay, one of the things that we did end up, I immediately bought while we were there on Amazon, and I've seen these before, and they've always been so intriguing to me. So I definitely like playing with different textures and things in the bedroom. And have you guys ever seen it? It's basically a little pinwheel. It's a little spiky pinwheel, and it has a handle to it. And you just roll them on the body, and they just looked so fun to me. First of all, they're very small and they're very cute, and it just looks so fun. So I remember seeing them. My sex coach has shared them before on her social media, and when I saw them at this kink show, I don't know, I was impulsive that night, and I immediately went on Amazon and ordered one. So we got to try this out I think it was like last week, maybe. It was on opening day, so April 8th. So a week after we had been home, and which is perfect. So that was actually a week after we attended this Kinky Friday night together. And I remember we're, getting it on the couch, a little tipsy from the day, having some fun. And that had just came in the day before from Amazon. So I remember it was sitting on the counter, and I was like, ooh, okay, let's try this. Let's do this. And this little pinwheel thing it fucking hurts. Like, it was not what I had expected at all. I thought if anything it was going to be more of like a ticklish, but this thing is sharp. And maybe if you're listening to this and you're like, maybe you got just like a sharp one, I don't know if there's different textures to them or not, but this thing, like, it is like, it's like it bites you. That's what it feels like little bites. And so as this little spin wheel is going across your body, it's like little tiny bites. So it's definitely, I'm definitely glad that I was pretty intoxicated when using this. And so that probably helped with my pain threshold. So I probably was able to enjoy it a little bit more. But I think sober Rachel, when I could feel pain a little bit more, I don't know. And then I got to do it on Danny, and that was fun. And he he's like a medium, I would say, with pain. He's not too much into like pain sort of things. But this was so fun. So to be able to do this all over the body, to be able to do it over, my nipples and my neck and all sort of those ticklish places or those turn on places, your clavicle, all the way down to my stomach and my legs, like all over. And definitely I would say like the fatty areas of the body were probably more enjoyable, but whew, that thing is fun. I'll post a link to it in the show notes for you if you're interested. It's just a link on Amazon that I'll share with you guys. But yeah, again, those were so fun. So one of the performances, a couple of the performances actually, they use these things where they had people, from the crowd go up on stage and get their kinks and fetishes fulfilled right then and there. And so I remember one guy that they had tied up there. He was tied up. I think he had a ball gag in his mouth. I think he was blindfolded. I don't know. But they had him tied up with rope on this big X that was on stage. They had his penis tied up in rope, which again is so erotic for so many people. Not my thing at all. I remember sitting there like, oh, I feel bad for his little penis right now. It looks so painful, but he was definitely digging it. So, but anyways, they had him all tied up. He had no way to move around or anything. And I remember them using these little wheels like all over his body. And like, I remember him kind of like fidgeting, like, ooh, like doing like the shiver sort of stuff. And then that was the moment I was like, I need to get one of these. And so then when I remember experiencing it when Danny and I were playing with it together, I'm like, oh my God, like this man was probably in so much pain. And obviously pain was his thing based on the things they were doing to him. But oh my gosh. Yeah. So if you like the pain sort of stuff, you like the kinky things, I would say if you don't have one, get one. I think it was like $9, like super affordable. And it was definitely fun. I can see us. It did go in our drawer. So we have our sex toys and our playthings that we have some in our drawer and we have some in this box thing that we keep in the closet. Those are the things that we don't use as often. But this little pinwheel I did put right in the drawer. So we shall see. It's right next to my little feather fluffer, which is so soft and fun. And I love that little thing. So maybe if I can mix the two, maybe if he did the little pinwheel first and I was like feeling just a little bit of pain, feeling that bite a little bit, and then he came behind it with the little feather, I think that would be so nice. Oh, I want to do that today. That is going to be our snow day special. All right. Whew. All right. I think that is about it. But again, go to a kink show. If you ever have the opportunity to go to a kink show and you can be a solid human and not be an asshole and go in there and judge people or just be against this, like you definitely need to be a sex positive individual going into something like this. And it was such a good experience to be able to talk to your partner about these things, to be able to see and experience new things that you may have never even heard of or never seen before. So good. So good. Oh my gosh. Also, I think super educational because anytime there was a vulva owner up there and they were using a vibrator on them, they never used anything internal. Like there was nothing ever internal. It was all clitoral stimulation. A lot of teasing. I think just showing how to use a clitoral vibrator on a woman. That was, I think, probably really helpful for many of the men to see in the audience. Something that, again, we don't get pleasure education. So if you have a partner, that you're kind of shaming or irritated or frustrated that they don't know what they're doing, it is our responsibility to take responsibility for our pleasure and to be able to educate people and tell our partners and our people in our lives what it is that we find pleasure from. So again, going to a show like this and easily being able to say, ooh, that's what I want you to do. That's how I want you to do it to me. I want you to use our toy like that with me. That is such an easy in to be able to have those communication things going for each other. So, all right. Now that I'm all hot and bothered on this snowy day, enjoy this episode, y'all. Let me know if you have any questions. For sure, let me know if you know of any kink shows that are in your area. And I will talk to you on the next episode, you little kinky kinker fuckeries. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you loved it, be sure to subscribe so you never miss a thing. And if you loved it so fucking much, be sure to leave a 5-star review. I'll see you next week, and until then, keep owning your sexual self.